Radio show.
Claim your fame.
Radio show.
Claim your fame.
Radio show.
Hi, I'm Delores Burke with the Claim Your Fame radio and TV show. And as you know, we're always going to keep you connected. And today we are participating with Atop Fashion, and they're bringing a great show, and not only a great show, but information that we need. And it's all about domestic minor sex trafficking. And you would not believe the numbers that affect Georgia. About 200 to 300 men by child sex, a week. And upon that, they are making $33,000 off these acts a week. So I'm talking to you as an individual, as females, as a human being. We have to stand up and do something. And you say, what can I do? When you see something strange, you need to tell someone. Let's be part of the solution and not part of the problem. We must speak out. If it's happening to you, seek help. Tell someone. And not only that, here in Atlanta, it is stated that most of the sex trafficking take place I-285 perimeter in the suburbs. So you may think it's strange that you see a woman with a female or a man with a female. Notice how that child is interacting with that individual. 91% of these domestic minor sex trafficking victims in Georgia, they were enrolled to school at the time of the exploitation. So you have to watch when you send your kids off to school. Make sure they have the right route to home and from school. And later on in the show, we're going to be talking to Street Grace. Miss April is over Street Grace, and they bring awareness to the Atlanta area and all over about this criminal acts of sex trafficking. And we're having a fantastic time just meeting people and talking about what? Sex trafficking. So we have someone standing here with us. She's with Street Grace, and she's going to tell us what her organization represents and what they do.
Thank you for having me, Dolores. I'm April Henderson, the Director of Outreach for Street Grace, where our mission is to demand an end for the commercial sexual exploitation of children. We fulfill our mission and do that through what we call the 3 pillars. The first pillar is protection and prevention, where we go into the schools through our youth initiatives, and we empower students with the necessary tools to protect themselves against predators. We also train the school administration, the principals, and the parents as well. We also, under that pillar, go into the faith-based community, where we actually train our pastors and our leaders so that they're able to train their congregation on what is actually happening. And so our next pillar is policy. We work on the policy side, where we actually work to get stricter legislation. And so we have on staff our Vice President of Policy, Kamala Zolfagari, who's actually prosecuted the first buyer here in Georgia in 2012. Our last pillar is what we call pursuit of the buyers, those that are actually buying children for sex. We do that through what we call the Transaction Intercept program. That is our internet program, our confidential technology program that is online, that is intercepting buyers online who are trying to buy children for sex. And our last initiative is actually going after the illicit massage businesses. Wow. Those illegal or those legal businesses that are doing or conducting. Exactly. And so that's what we do. It's all about the safety and protection of our children. We are on the prevention side of this cause.
Awesome. And so you are the executive director, correct?
No, I am actually the director of outreach. So I do all of the community-based trainings and different things to that nature.
Okay, so this is not your organization. You did not found this organization.
We have been in existence for 10 years. We were actually birthed out of 5 founding churches, and now our executive director, or our president and CEO, is Bob Rogers.
Oh, awesome. So what has been the worst scenario out in the sex trafficking world?
Well, we work on the prevention side, so we're trying to get in front of the cause and trying to end this. But I've actually worked on the restorative side, where I've led a team that actually worked directly with those children that were either at risk or victimized by sex trafficking. So I have many stories. It's a real issue. What I will say is that most people think that it's like the movie Taken, but it really is different from that. This is actually happening through many different ways. I mean, you have to look at the things like social media. There are many entry points now into a child's life. There's also, we have our survivor leader who was actually trafficked by her father. We go into the schools and talk about healthy and unhealthy relationships, because sometimes these things happen through relationships, peer-to-peer relationships, and just through many different things. So it's not a cookie cutter type of thing.
So do you find parents are uncomfortable talking to their young ladies and young men in their lives? Are they uncomfortable talking about sex trafficking and all this mean world?
What I think happens is there's a lot of misconceptions about sex trafficking. A lot of people still think that it is a foreign problem or is not happening here. But what we are finding is it's happening right here, and it is a $290 million industry. This is a very lucrative business. And like I said, you have to contend with the mentality that the misconception that it is happening overseas. It is happening here, and we have to be able to know what we're looking for, how to identify that in order to stop it. And so that is why our organization is so important, is because we are providing the awareness, the education to end the demand, going after the demand, going after those that are buying sex sex.
So, in the wake of Epstein, Weinstein, Spacek, and we'll say Cosby. So, with Epstein supposedly have committed suicide on today. So these are powerful men that's involved in sex trafficking. And it's very difficult to navigate that tunnel as to where they exist and the hubs. I was watching this movie, and this rich guy had something set up in Manhattan. So when you look at that, it's kind of hard to tell what is real, if there's real problems. Because you see, a lot of white men, that's actually participating. We have black men too, but we see this among rich white men. Am I correct on that?
Well, what we did is we did a study, and what we saw is, where is the demand coming from here in Georgia? And we looked at it, and majority of what we saw was that the demand was coming from the northern suburbs. So I guess you would be correct in that. And so we find that it's from those that are buying, or those that have disposable income, actually have the money to be able, to buy, children.
Okay. So we're going to leave our listeners with a couple of points. And I wanted to ask you, what is the first thing that parents should be aware of when it comes to their young children? What are the signs that they are communicating with someone in an unhealthy fashion?
One of the things I want to say, I am a mom, and I am a mom of a middle schooler. The average entry age for girls in the sex trafficking industry starts at 12 to 14. So first, parents need to be aware of what is actually going on, and they need to have these conversations with their children early about healthy and unhealthy relationships. They need to understand about technology. Sometimes, the kids are more abreast and know more on technology, but they need to know. They need to be aware that predators pose online, on Snapchat, on Instagram, on these games. We live in a gaming generation. Minecraft, Fortnite, any game or social media site that has a chat box where you can play or you can chat with people across the world, these are entry points. So it's just very important to have these conversations at a young age. Don't be afraid to step into the conversation and just begin to talk about what is a healthy relationship, what is not a healthy relationship. And I want to say, particularly as an African American woman, we have to be able to not sweep things under the rug and these sometimes secrets and not believing kids when they say something has happened. We have to be able to address what is really going on, and we have to listen to kids.
Yes. You heard it right here. I'm standing here with April. What shall I say?
My name is April Henderson.
And she's just given us so many wonderful points for us to take abreast and just know you have to watch your children. You have to watch your children. And we're so glad to have you here today.
Thank you for having me.
April Henderson with Street Grace, and I'm Dolores Burke with Claim Your Fame radio and TV show. Today we're speaking with someone that is so important to this crime-fest place of sex trafficking. So many kids, when they come out of sex trafficking, they may try to commit suicide. And we have someone here that can tell us all about that ordeal, how to help someone when you see the signs. Tell us your name and tell us how important your job is.
My name is Deborah Kushnick, and I'm a board member with the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. And our mission really is to save lives. But to do that, we need to find out why are people committing suicide and what can we do to stop it. So a lot of what we do is fundraising, and we're the #1 largest raiser of funds for that research. In terms of what can you do to help someone, the most important thing is to put time and space between the person who is thinking of committing suicide and their means of doing it. So it's a permanent solution to a temporary problem. So if you can get them to talk to you and just put some time in there, and if you can remove any means of taking their own life, those are the two main things you can do to help save a life if you're not a trained counselor. Which AFSP, we are not trained counselors, but we can tell you how to talk to people and get them to the right people who can help them.
Yes, you know, in the wake of sex trafficking, we look at people like Weinstein and also Epstein. So he committed suicide. So do you think someone could have talked to him, or what is your take on his death?
There's always hope. And that means there's hope for him as a person and forgiveness. I'm not in a position to do that. I think it's very sad that he took his own life. I think a lot of people needed closure in a different way, for sure. So I'm sorry that he took his own life, and we don't wish it on anyone.
Yes. So we want to say, if you ever feel like you've lost hope, find someone to talk to, your parents, a sister, a brother, a counselor, your pastor. Find someone that will listen to you. There's always hope. There's always hope. As long as you're above ground, there's always hope. Thank you so much for sharing your information today and being part of this great event.
It is a wonderful event. Thank you for having us.
Yes. Again, I'm Dolores Burke with the Claim Your Fame radio and TV show. And again, we're just having a ball, an exciting time right here at the Epic Center in Atlanta, Georgia. Just talking with people, just meeting people for a very good cause, sex trafficking. As you know, so many people, once they come out of sex trafficking, they think of suicide. And we have someone in place that can talk to them. And today we have two beautiful young ladies, all the way from Tennessee, to talk to us about the prevention of suicide. Tell us your name and what do you do?
My name is Regina Perry, and I am the founder of Cowboyette, which is a suicide prevention and education program.
Okay, and tell us who you are.
Misty Johnson, and I've been helping Regina since she started this program in 2005.
Okay, so could you tell us, Regina, how did this organization was birthed? What made you birth this organization?
Well, the organization is founded in memory of my brother Marcus, who passed away in 2003, and we just founded the organization in 2005. We just thought if we could help one child, one family not experience the wrath of suicide, then we would go do that. And so we've been doing that for the past 14 years.
Yes. And so how did you find, if you found any consoling after the death of your brother? What was that step like?
You know, it was a hard step. It was a long journey, but I think I got to a place where I had to say I did the best for him at the time with what I knew. But then after he passed away, I learned so much. I'm a teacher as well, and so I learned the facts about suicide and the myths about suicide and the statistics. And I just felt like what I learned through that somebody should be talking about it, somebody should be doing something about it. And so we decided that should be us. And that's, you know, kind of how it came about. But we just, like I said, if we can help one person, one family, then that's what we're all about.
Yes. So it's all about awareness. If we're talking about suicide, if we're talking about sex trafficking, it's bring awareness to the problem. And so exactly what is it that you do with there, and have you had any experience with suicide?
I have. After being in Cowboy Up, I lost my father-in-law to suicide, and my daughter attempted in 2016. So unfortunately, suicide does not discriminate. It affects almost everyone. If you talk to someone, they have been affected in some way by suicide, and that's why it's so important to get the message out. What we do, we speak to all the 7th graders in Murray County, the county that we're from in Tennessee, just to let them know there are places to go for help and signs to look for in their friends.
So tell us, what are some of the signs as parents, as friends, that we should look for?
Withdrawal, withdrawing from activities they like and things that they like. For children, a good student becoming a bad student, just not caring, giving up, feeling hopeless, that feeling of hopelessness, giving away prized possessions, things like that are the big things. Do you have some more to add?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's depression, but then sometimes too, it's somebody that's come out of the depression and they've kind of made a plan, they've made up their mind, and they're making peace, and, you know, like Misty said, giving their prized possessions away, and at that time the family thinks, oh, everything's good, they're okay, they're out of the depression, but unfortunately that's a time too where you have to watch and be aware, because sometimes it's just they've kind of made up their mind what they want to do too.
You know, we say we should talk to, if we see someone with these signs, but what is it that you can possibly say that you think that could change their mind?
You know, we just say all the time that just letting people know that you're there and that you will listen and that you care, and just saying that and letting them know that that their problems that they may be experiencing are temporary, but just letting them know that there's support there, I think is huge. We have a big Facebook page, and we try to post things on there, you know, and we say things that, and we mean it, that no one can play your part. Yes. Everybody has a purpose, and nobody can play your purpose but you. And so we want people to realize that and recognize that, and realize that there's always somebody in a place. You know, there's the hotline that you can reach out to that's 24 hours a day, every day. And so there are places and there are people who care.
Yes. You know what? We're so glad to have these ladies with her on today. Thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you so much for sharing your personal stories. And you out there, if you're thinking about suicide, if you feel hopeless, find someone to talk to. There is someone willing to listen to your story. And again, we love you. Yes. Yes. We love you. You have purpose. You were born for a reason. Yes. Hi, everybody. I am Dolores Walker-Burke with Claim Your Fame radio and TV show. And you know, this person over here does not need an introduction, but this is our business partner with Claim Your Fame radio and TV show, and we're so glad to be part of her event on today. This is Camille Renee
Terrell,
yes. Tell us what this event means to you.
Well, first I want to say I'm so excited to have Claim Your Fame radio show here in the building with us. This is our 4th annual fashion show where we bring awareness to drugs, sex trafficking, as well as teen suicide. So we have vendors such as Street Grace, They're one that actually write the policies and procedures for sex trafficking. Then we have Georgia local suicide awareness. Any thing that may go on with suicide here in Georgia, we have that organization here. And then Cowboy Up from Tennessee. So we are building a bridge with the community and the church to bring awareness to what is in our neighborhood.
And I tell you, this is their 4th year, and we've been part of it right from day one. And I tell you, it's always exciting, and not only to come and see the beautiful lady like Camille and Jay, the designer, but to get this information, what's going on in our city and cities around us when it comes to sex trafficking. It's a big thing. And you know, today, August the 10th, it was stated that Jeffrey Epstein has committed suicide. So what is your take on that? And we know the storyline about him, that he was part of sex trafficking. Tell me, what is your take on that?
I say that was an easy cop-out. I really would have liked to seen the individuals to be able to give their testimonies, to be able to reach back and pull some people, because you know there's a lot of young people. As recently we know that the youngest age was 4 years old, where they captured a young lady, a young girl in North Carolina and trafficked her all the way to Texas. The incident with the man, I just felt like I was so excited. And then, you know, we think about too, with him, I think about Victoria's Secret, and then they just wrote a policy where they're actually going to have them to look closer at the models, at the model awareness has been contacted. And so just bringing awareness and making this, making each person more conscious, because it is something that, you know, you can think about like in the neighborhood and as a child. And this will probably raise up an ear, but young girls, when, you know how when we were younger and you would see older men flirting with those younger girls, that's incest, you know, messing within your own family.
Yeah. But what do we say?
And
She's a fast girl.
Yeah, fast girl. But no man or woman should make passes at a young child, because it is happening to our boys as well. The youngest age is 9. And so just he was a young boy was found, and last week, a week before, maybe 2 weeks ago, they were actually trying to sell him in trafficking. So it's amazing. This weekend is so amazing. I love the fact that we have models from near and far. And when I say near and far, I really do mean near and far, that are here walking for a cause. You can see one of our beautiful models walking past us right now. You all didn't get to see that. You have to stay tuned.
Yes, yes. We're, like I said, we're so excited. And so what made tonight different from last year? What are we going to see different? What type of theme that Jay is working with on tonight? How exciting tonight is?
Tonight we're bringing also opening the conscious to America. So we actually have a theme where we're opening up with the American flag. There is a flag dress, and we want America to become conscious of sex and drug trafficking as well as suicide. So it is in our neighborhood, but if we can reach one person in our community, that community spreads to our state, and from our state, we reach our country. And so I'm so excited, and I cannot wait to hit this runway at 7 o'clock. We have a gentleman that's here that he and I used to model together. He is going to light up this runway. I cannot give Chuck his props. I cannot not.
And you know, Renee talks about being a model. She's model for Bronner Brothers, and she's a celebrity hairstylist. And on top of that, she's doing this fantastic thing in the community, educating, bringing awareness to sex trafficking. And we're just so proud of her. We're so excited to be part of the squad. This is Claim Your Fame, the CYF squad.
Yes, yes.
And it's always exciting when the three of us get together. And also Lady Storm, you know, we've been working together probably, the three of us, together probably the last, 6 or 7 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Coming together, making people, waking up the conscious mind, because there's so many things that's going on. And also, recently I started a nonprofit organization, and it's bringing awareness to light offenders and helping to help them to re-enter into the community, back into society. And so,
What offenders?
light prison offenders.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're going to do that as well, and bringing awareness to sex and drug trafficking.
Wow.
So
She is a busy lady, and we're so excited to be part of her world.
yes,
I
I'm
tell
excited
you.
to be a part of your world.
So again, this is Dolores Walker Burke. We're excited to talk with our friend, our partner, and just an all-around confidant. You know, we talk about things, and we're just so glad to come together once again. This is Dolores Walker Burke with the Claim Your Fame radio and
TV show.
there you go. And again, we're so excited to be part of a top fashion show. And being here, we are meeting interesting and beautiful people. And as you can see on my left-hand side here, interesting and beautiful people. And she has a story to tell. What's your story?
Actually, I've been supporting human trafficking and this for quite a long while. I've only been here in Atlanta for about 5 years, live in the Sandy Springs area, and I can remember the morning when they popped that big old beautiful house up on the screen, and it was like sex trafficking, and I was like, in my neighborhood? And I mean, it wasn't a thing. I know that neighborhood is not safe. No neighborhood is safe, but just the idea of it's just somewhere, you know, I could be walking alongside of this guy in Publix or Whole Foods, you know, to find out that he's collecting young girls in his home. So it's just something that everybody needs to be mindful and aware of. Going through the city, you see young girls out here, you just want to grab them, but you have to understand sometimes you can put yourself in more danger and than just reporting it. But I think everyone should be aware. Everyone should understand that no one is excluded. Boys, girls, young, old, they're all involved. So it's just, yeah, a worthy cause, very worthy cause.
Yes, and we're excited that you are here. And so what make you want to be part of this event?
As a domestic violence survivor, all survivors, I think if we come together, we start talking about it a lot more, it removes the taboos and the stigmatisms, and people are more accepting to embrace you and kind of be empathetic to your situation and help find resources. I just think it's something that we need to scream out loud.
How did you get out of your situation, and how long were you in it?
Oh God, how long was I in it? It was a while, but I can, well, actually, probably a couple of years longer than I needed to be. How did I get out of it? By way of Germany flight with eggs in my head going back home. And once I crossed the bridge and made that decision, it was like, next person put their hands on me. I can't say those words, but we're going to have some problems. But a lot of times people just say, just leave, just leave. You know, everybody's situation is different. And on the domestic side, sometimes for women it's just not easy to pick up all the babies out. It was just me, but, you know, it's just not easy to pick up and go. And just like I can only imagine with these girls, you know, they probably think about leaving human trafficking. They probably know what, but it's like they think about it, but it's like, where am I going to go? They're going to come get me. They're going to find me. So I think with all the organizations and things coming together and rendering support and services, that makes it a lot easier for people to walk out of those types of lifestyles and situations.
So as you were speaking, I thought about in those type of situations, do you think, and you can refer to your personal situation, do you think that they make allowances and concessions like, well, I'm going through this, but at least I have this, at least I can eat, or at least there's a roof over my head? Are those type allowances and concessions are made?
I think those are very reasonable allowances and concessions. Every woman's situation is going to be different. Sometimes you think, oh, if I could just leave, or if I could just do this, or if I just had this or that. But, you know, again, you have to look at your personal situation. Some women can just take off and run and leave and not look back. But then others, you know, you have families. It's a lot more involved. So that situation is going to be a little bit different for each and every person. Yeah.
We thank you so much for sharing your story.
Thank you.
And listen, she's one of many. She's one of many survivals. If you're in a domestic situation, if you are in sex trafficking, try to find a way out. And as individual, as females, if you see something,
Say something. Say something.
yes. And so how dear is this event to you, sex trafficking?
I think it's very special. I had a family member that had experienced that, my sister, and got into some bad accident with it. So my heart really goes out to sex trafficking. I'm very against it. So I think we should encourage other women and young women and pour into them and let them know they're loved and they're valued and that we care and that we hear them.
So did your sister make it out?
No, my sister didn't make it out. I lost my sister in sex trafficking in Miami, Florida. And she got killed doing some mishaps. So this is really dear to me, and we all miss her. But this goes out to my sister Vicky for tonight, and we all miss you and love you so much. And I think this is a great opportunity.
Yes, yes. We're just so glad to have you.
Thank you.
And to share your story. Not
Yes.
everyone can share something as horrific as losing someone, and especially losing someone to sex trafficking. We don't want to admit it. In our community, in our culture, we tend to hide everything
Yes.
when it comes to molestation, sex trafficking. We want to turn away from it. But it is real, it's happening in our life, and we really need to say something. If you see something,
Say something.
can you tell us your name and what's your story?
My name is Patricia Esumi Blackman, and I want to tell the story about my client. She's an Indian woman, and about 4 years ago, she was in an abusive relationship. Her husband would beat her if she didn't have the food ready, or if her clothes wasn't ready, or his clothes wasn't ready, or the house wasn't clean. And she went to tell me that it went on for the whole time of her marriage. Now she's not in her country anymore now. She's here in the United States, and she has remarried. She's remarried, she has a husband, a new husband, and they just welcomed a new baby girl. So it is life after that, and I think we can find a way out of it and have a victorious life. So I think that's hope for people who are still struggling in that area.
Yes. And so being part of Atop Fashion, is that what sticks in your mind to say, yes, I want to be part of this event?
Of course, yeah. We want to bring awareness to everything that's going on involving sex traffic, any abuse, any molestation, anything in that order. It needs to be noticed, and we need to bring awareness to it, and I'm glad to be a part of it.
Okay. So do you have any children yourself?
Yes, I do. I have 3 children. They're all grown. They're educated. They learn from their mom experience, and I have a son who's about to turn 25 years old.
Okay. So what was some of the things that you would say, you have any daughters? What was some of the things that you would say to your daughter when she decides to date or go out with friends? Were there any things that little nuggets you would give her for her to be aware of her surroundings?
Well, a lot of times I told my children the stories that their mom went through. I had similar things happen to me as a child and even as growing up. So a lot of times I would always prepare my children that anything that happens, your mom was there to tell you and there to listen to you, and you will be heard. Because a good sign of healing is having somebody who can come along and say to you that they believe what you told them. That's key to getting healed. Because if you have somebody that rejects it, it's going to take you a while to get through what you got to go through. But if you have somebody that can come and say directly to you, I have been molested, I have been abused, I have been anything of that sort, or done anything against your will, and someone says, well, I believe you, and I'm going to take care of you. Wow. So that's very powerful.
That is powerful. Yes. Okay. Thank you so much for sharing that story.
Thank you for having me.
Of her personal story, how she overcame molestation, abuse. And look how beautiful she is, how strong she is. Yes, it's about telling. Tell your story. If you tell it enough, loud enough, someone will believe you.
That's true.
Yes. And again, we're having a fantastic time interviewing all the vendors right here at the Atop Fashion Show. And we have this beautiful young lady here. She's going to tell us who she is and all the products that she has right here for sale. So if you see something, she may have a video later. If you see something, you need to contact her. She'll give us her contact information so you can find out where you can purchase these good goodies. Hi, tell us who you are.
My name is Portia Gladman.
And Portia, what type of items did you bring to us today?
Today I brought my handbags. I sell accessories, I sell jewelry, I also sell shoes, but today I only have the handbags with me. So as she said, if you see something, say something. And I'm a hairstylist also.
Okay, so do you have any contact information? Someone interested in purchasing
I do.
your bags?
I do. My contact number is 678-895-3659. Again, 678-895-3659. The name of the business is Just Mari Accessories.
Just Mari. So not only do you have handbags, but you also carry jewelry. Isn't this a wonderful piece?
This is one of my pieces also.
Yes.
And this is one of my pieces.
I love it. I love it.
I also carry jewelry as well, but today I only have the handbags on site.
All right. So, look, we have some of her bags. Oh, I love this red one. Isn't it gorgeous? So you'd like to give us any of your price points?
Dolores, this bag is $50, and guess what? It's not just one bag. It's two.
Get out of here.
This is two. You can carry this as a crossbody. There's a strap that goes on this.
Isn't that lovely?
You can carry it as a crossbody. You can carry it crossbody, or if you don't want a crossbody, carry it as a tote. You have more, females have more things to carry, so a bigger purse, the bigger the better sometimes. Then sometimes you just out and about, you want your crossbody. This one, I absolutely love this one. I just think church, dress it up or dress it down, because I would wear it with a pair of ripped jeans and a t-shirt. It's just all in the fashion and knowing how to wear it.
Yes. Beautiful accessory. Before I let you go, I wanted to ask you about the event as to why we are here. Mm-hmm. So do you have any direct connection with any sex trafficking or suicide? Is that close to you in any kind of way?
Not directly, but I do have a passion for it. Okay. There's been so many young girls that get lost and caught up. In fact, I said not directly, but I do have a great niece. I had concerns about her. She kind of lost herself. Hopefully and prayerfully she's found her way back in. And I would tell her all the time, there's too many people out here snatching up young girls to get you to do things that you don't want to do. So you have to be mindful of your surroundings and everywhere you go and the people that you are around. It's just that kind of world we're living in, unfortunately.
Yes. If you see something, yes. If you see something, say something. Right. And we're so glad we have aunties that's looking at the nieces and the nephews, and she's saying something. So as aunties and uncle, pay attention. Exactly. If you see something, say something. And we're having an exciting time right here at the Epic Center in Atlanta, Georgia. It's all about awareness, sex trafficking awareness. And we're so glad to have all type of people, vendors here. And on my left-hand side, we have this beautiful woman here, and she's going to tell us what her crown represents, who she is, and what she's all about. Tell us, what does that represent?
Thank you so much. My name is Cheryl Labrum, and I was recently crowned National Elite Misses. The reason why I decided to compete was for human trafficking. I actually go around the state and the country and speak to individuals, specifically kids, on how we can keep them safe. You know, the world is not what we grew up in. It has completely changed. And I find my life's mission in teaching kids how to stay safe these days. It's so dangerous out there, and especially for moms, dads, grandparents even, letting them know also how to keep their kids safe is so, so important. And that's actually why I started pageantry to begin with.
Okay. Oh, awesome. So now, this is your first time competing, and did you create this organization here?
Oh, actually, I competed at a national competition. I did not create it. I recently won it.
Okay.
And so I joined 35 lovely ladies from all over the country this last weekend and competed. And I feel very honored and very humbled to have won it.
And
so
I'm going to
it's
say
a big honor.
congratulations.
Thank you so much.
You are gorgeous, and we're just so glad that you won and your message.
Yes.
And so you said that you travel all around. So what are 3 things that we should tell our child to protect them?
Yes. First is social media. 76% of our victims in trafficking that are children under the age of 18, it came through social media or an online source. That's huge. So if you're a parent or a child, please, please monitor social media and online sources. That is by far the number 1 way that kids get dragged into this awful world. Number 2 is form a really strong community with other kids, parents forming with parents, because the more that we can get together and combine what we're seeing, you know, you may see a small clue in a child. I may see a different small clue in a child. Another adult might see a small clue in a child, but it's us talking about it and communicating about it and being on the same page about it. You know, unfortunately, this world is all about independence today, and it's less and less about how do we get together and unite under saving our kids. And so that's huge, where it takes a village. It takes a village to save these kids. And so if we can combine our efforts, kids watching out for kids, parents watching out for other parents' kids, you know, it can be offensive at first, you know, why are you my business? But if it's going to save somebody's life, why wouldn't you do it?
Yes.
Why wouldn't you do it? And the last thing is, especially for foster kids, up to 60% of kids in the trafficking industry come from foster care or kids that have run away. So if you notice a child that just seems to be on the outskirts for any reason, it could be foster care or runaway, or even just feeling distant from family. These are huge things that make a child vulnerable. So get that child a listening ear. They say that the number 1 way that draws kids in and keeps them safe is when they have an adult that simply listens to them, listens to their whatever they want to talk about, their concerns or their joys or their fears. A simple listening ear will be on the positive side if it's an adult, rather than the negative side if it's someone trying to steal them and they're providing the listening ear.
Yes. So in essence, see, talk, listen, and educate.
That's right.
And that's how we save our children.
That's it.
Thank you so
Of
much
course,
for joining
my
us today.
pleasure.
And again, congratulations.
Thank you.
On your crown. Yes.
Thanks for having me.
And we're so proud of what you do. And continue, because this world needs it.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a village. It takes a village. And we're having an exciting time right here at the Atop Fashion Show. And we have a beautiful model. Yes, you can see the tallness and how gorgeous she is. She's going to be strutting down the walkway tonight. And we just want to chat with her and find out what her aspirations are and how excited she is about tonight. I believe she's been with the organization for 4 years. So what has that experience been like for you?
It's overwhelming. It's like nothing that I could put into words. Miss J does an excellent job, and the purpose of it, it hits home. because you never know what someone is going through, so you have to talk to them to understand. And sex trafficking is so horrible right now. The warning signs, you just have to look out and be aware.
So have you had any friends to have experienced or have come close to experiencing sex trafficking?
Not sex trafficking, it's more so the suicide. Like, I've had friends that said they've thought about it. I had one that has taken their life, and it's nothing that it's always a why, but you never know.
You said someone has taken their life? Yes. Oh, wow. So what about domestic violence, boyfriend violence?
As far as domestic violence, I feel like a lot of people may feel like that it's embarrassing. They don't know how to reach out to someone, but it's always a way. You just got to be brave and step out.
And so tell me, you're modeling now, but what are your aspirations? Do you want to continue to model? Are you in school right now? What else are you doing?
Okay, so I do model. I have an autistic child, so I'm actually looking into more things as far as like helping kids with autism, helping kids with mental health, because they're so young and it's hard for them to actually express themselves, so the different ways of expressing themselves.
Sounds great. And so are you considering starting an organization on autism?
Yes, ma'am. Hopefully a nonprofit soon.
Okay, awesome. You know what? Thank you for stopping by to chat with us. And we're going to be looking for you on the carpet.
Thank you.
Yes, on the runway. You're already on the purple carpet. But we know that you're going to knock it out and have a great time. Are you scared?
No, not at all.
Okay.
I'm ready.
All right. She's a champ. She's been doing this for 4 years. And she said, I got this. Again, thank you for joining the Claim Your Fame radio show. I'm Dolores Walker Burke. And we're going to talk to you later. Hello, everyone. I'm Dolores Walker Burke with the Claim Your Fame radio and TV show. And we're standing here at the Epic Center in Atlanta. And we're just so glad to be part of the Atop fashion show, bringing awareness to sex trafficking, suicide, and all the other stuff that's out there that can just drive you crazy. We're so glad we're part of it, domestic violence. And on the side of us, we have one of the models. Tell us your name.
I'm Felicia Aileen.
Felicia Aileen. So how long have you been modeling, and how long have you been modeling for Atop Fashion?
This is my first year modeling for Atop. I have modeled since I was in middle school. I want to say maybe 14 years old. So, yeah.
Okay. So is that something that you enjoy doing? Is that something you aspire to do more on a professional level? Tell us about that.
Coincidentally, each event that I have ever done, I've been kind of pulled into. It's not anything that I particularly sought after. More or less, I was coaxed in by a friend or a beautician or a fellow classmate. Much like this event, I was kind of pulled in by one of my mentors with John Casablancas.
Okay. So how excited are you about tonight? What some of the fashions you are going to be wearing? Tell us about that.
I'm very, very excited. We've got some beautiful, beautiful, beautiful outfits designed by Atop. The cause itself is worth walking for. Beautiful, beautiful cause. It's exciting. We've been working hard. I'm ready to get out there and strut and really bring to life everything that we've been working on over the last couple of months.
Yes. And so this is about strutting for a cause. As I said earlier, it's all about sex trafficking. So do you know anyone close or a distant that has been affected by sex trafficking?
I can fortunately say no, I do not personally have any experience or have any knowledge of anyone who has been affected by this, but you know, all you have to do is turn the television on. It's right there in your face. I'm blessed to say again, I've not been affected directly, but this is certainly something that needs to be brought to our immediate attention.
Yes. And again, we want to say you're gorgeous, and we just can't wait to see you on the runway tonight. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for supporting such a fantastic event and cause. Tell us who you are.
My name's Rebecca Burton. I'm from Marietta, Georgia. I've been here about 20 years. Originally, I lived in Detroit, Michigan. Yes.
And so what brings you to this event?
I met Joanne actually, we were actually shopping. And I saw all of her fabrics that she was going to make for the show, and I commented, I said, boy, you're getting an early start on New Year's. And she said no, she was going to have this modeling show, and the conversation led to my saying that I modeled in Detroit, and she said, you know, would I like to model? And I said, absolutely. She's a very engaging woman and a beautiful heart, so it was just like I met a sister.
Okay,
Yes.
awesome. So do you know someone that has been affected by sex trafficking?
No, I don't know someone personally, but you know, I have a heart for people that are going through this, and the vendors that I spoke with tonight, it's like, you know, I think that probably what I will do will get involved with that, because I think everybody can do something little, and if everybody does something, then it's not such a burden on one person. Yes.
So what she said was that everyone can do something. If you see something, say something. That is what we need to do. That is our motto on tonight. If you see something, say something, because that way we are aware of what's going on with you. And we're just so excited to be at this event. And we've talked to so many models, beautiful models, all ages of models. And we just know that they are strutting and walking for a cause. And that cause is bringing awareness to sex trafficking. Hi, I'm Dolores Walker-Burke with the Claim Your Fame radio and TV show. And look at these two gorgeous people that's standing beside me. Yes, we're at a top fashion show. And here is a preview of some of the models. Oh, yeah, yeah. Isn't she gorgeous? Yes. So you tell us, first we'll talk to the female. Is that okay? Okay, we're gonna have a little talk over here. Okay, tell us your name and how long have you been modeling?
My name is Brianna Martin, and I've been with Atop for 4 years now, so it's been a long time, and I'm just so excited for tonight's event.
So what makes this event so special to you?
The fact that we get to speak up for those that don't have a voice in the human trafficking world, as well as the victims of suicide, it's a really near and dear cause to my heart. So
have you been a prey of either one of those?
I've known friends, close friends, that have almost gotten into that. So to have this platform to speak out for people like that, it just means a lot to me.
So how excited are you about tonight?
Tell you the truth, I'm a little nervous.
Okay, let the truth be told, he said. Okay, so is this your first time?
Nah, this will be my fourth time.
Okay. And it's okay to be nervous no matter how many times you do something. You know, it's good to have nerves to let you know you're not always total in control. There is somebody else that's guiding you and leading you along the way. So like I asked her, are you aware of anyone in your circle or someone directly or indirectly that has been part of sex trafficking?
That I know of, no, but I seen it on TV. And I'm sorry, I'm nervous.
That's okay. That's
all
okay.
good. But yeah, we just bringing awareness by using this event to reach out to people, tell them like they're not alone, this and that.
Yes. So as a young man, tell me, what is it that that you make sure that you don't do when you're on a date, so you would not make the young lady feel like you've crossed the line? Is there something that you consciously do to keep from crossing that line?
Trying to think. Not say the wrong things. That's a hard question.
Well, you know what? Since he's a model, he probably doesn't have that problem. When he comes, the girl is like, is that your case?
A little bit.
Oh, okay. A little bit. But we are so glad to talk with you, beautiful people, and I know you're going to give us an exciting show. on tonight, and we just looking forward to all that you bring us and the beautiful garments that you're going to wear. And so I would like to say, just get out and do your thing. Let the nerves take over where it make you do what you need to do. All right? So, all right, thank you guys. And listen, I want to say, if you see something, say something. Look behind us. All of these wonderful pieces are designed by Jay. Jay, you're so awesome. Tell us why you do this and what this event means to you.
Well, I design because I like to make people feel good and look good. But the event is based on human trafficking and teen suicide. So that's why we put it together and connected to for fashion, for a cause.
So is this cause personal to you?
Yes, it is. The teen suicide, yes, my daughter tried to commit suicide, so yes, it is personal.
Wow. She survived.
Yes.
Praise God. But tell me, how long does it take you? Does it actually take from a year from this one to the next year to create this line for this fashion show?
Yes, it does, up to the last minute at sometimes.
Wow. So what motivates you? What do you see out there that says, I think that will work in the show? How does that happen?
God. I keep a pad, pencil by my bed, and he speaks.
Okay.
He gives me the designs.
So are you an illustrator? Do you illustrate what you want, or you just have box people and, possible this could look like?
Illustrating and then draping.
Wow.
So.
Okay, so how long have you been sewing?
Ever since I was 7.
7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7?
7.
Wow.
Because I watched my mom sewed, and she made patterns from newspaper and brown paper bags, and so I wanted to do it also. But I wanted to take a step further and do it one of a kind, because I didn't want to meet myself on the street.
Okay. So now, do you make your own patterns yourself?
Yes.
Okay. And so who do you use as the model? Do you use yourself and work from that end, or do you find someone and say, that's a size 5, that's a size 10? How does that work to you?
No models, just vision.
Just vision.
Mm-hmm.
Without it, people perish.
Mm-hmm. Just the vision.
Without her vision, these girls wouldn't have any clothes tonight.
Make it plain.
I tell you, thank you for allowing us to be in your world for a minute.
Okay.
We know the fashion show is about to get started, and you're about to get really chaotic if the chaos hadn't already started.
Yes. It is started.
And so we're excited about what you're going to bring tonight. So what is the major theme for the fashion show on tonight?
The major thing is really royal essence, and it's saying that everybody is a king and queen.
I love it. That is awesome.
No matter who you are, no matter where you came from, you are a king and a queen because God made you a masterpiece.
And no matter what you've gone through, right?
Right.
Yes. You are still loved. You're still a king. You're still a prince. You're still a queen. I mean, that is just so awesome. Well, we're going to get out of your way. Okay. Thank you so much for allowing us to speak with you and to touch greatness. To give a hug to greatness. Yes. I'm Dolores Walker-Burke with the Claim Your Fame radio and TV show. Hi, everybody. I am back. And like I said earlier, the women were beautiful. The makeup was flawless. And the clothing was gorgeous. So you're going to have to find Jay. She's online. She's on Facebook. She is a fabulous, fabulous designer. And you want to hook up with her so that she can be your next designer. So I'm Dolores Walker-Burke. Until next time, we are the show that keep you connected.